So welcome everyone to our October demo presented by the Society of West Coast Artists. My name is Jim Stinger and I'm the president of the San Francisco chapter of the Society of West Coast Artists. And we are always looking for new members. So if you're not a member yet, please go to our website and think about joining. We have a form there you can fill out to join our society. Today's demo is going to be on watercolor abstracts by Joyce Barron Leopardo. And I'm going to do a brief introduction. Joyce's artwork is represented in the collection of Stanford and Mills Peninsula Hospitals, plus many private collections both in the United States and Europe and India. She also donates her time to both private and civic organizations for the arts. Primarily using water media, Joyce is an artist who is interested in developing her personal style with technique and unique effects and what wishes to convey her inner feelings and spirit on paper and canvas. Joyce provides students with guidance and support in classroom surroundings. Her experience tells her that those seeking more knowledge to master their individual techniques will benefit from her loving spirit, along with an extensive background of artistic style, color, and commitment. It is our pleasure to present Joyce for today's demo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joyce Barron Leopardo. I've been a member of SWA and CWA since 1976. I was born and raised in Michigan, and I always painted very traditional until, as of recent, reacted and started working again. So you want to make sure if you use salt to get it all off. This is all acrylic paints. The reason I'm staying in black, gray, and white is this is the way people are decorating today. And I have little pieces of collage paper, as you will see, hidden under places, okay? And then this is liquid gold acrylic. This one does not have to be framed under glass because it's acrylic. So you will save money by doing acrylics versus watercolor. And we have a great framer in San Bruno, Omar. And anybody that wants a framer, just contact SWA and we'll help you. Now this one, and the reason I did this one, so you know, is I wanted you to see on canvas, you don't have to frame something. So you're saving money. I'm not sure I'm gonna leave this center part the way it is when I get home. But again, this is all acrylic paint. I started in the same way. You can see bits and pieces if you look around. I like an underpainting always. I use gold acrylic at the end. I try to make a strong focal point. I want you to, I never thought I would paint abstracts. And it's really fun, everybody. And what's popular today, if you look at HGTV, I don't think too many people use anything but abstracts today. You very seldom see, and I'm kind of old fashioned, so I like both, okay? But see, if this is real wet, you see how neat? I like it to be wet so it will move. And if it's not moving and it's wet, you can spray it and make it move. And then at the end here, I really wanted to kind of get this focal point, but you see I've got 1, 2, 3. So you know, and now this is totally, you could go around the edge. And actually, I think I did on this one. So I could sell this by putting a wire on it. And that's all I have to do. Okay, let me put this one aside. Now, this, I teach a class at Avenidas, and this was something I started, it's very small, the other day in class, and I did not like it. So don't throw things away. I went back and I went over this, and I personally like this piece now. And it really wasn't a good piece before I went over it. So, you know, I let some of the colors hidden underneath show. I wanted a little bit, I like glitter and pizzazz, okay? So I added that. And again, I dripped paint to get some, I like to do that though. I have some handouts, and remember something, you only live once, and if you don't try something new, you're gonna be sorry someday. So have fun. All right, now watercolors. Okay. Okay. This is totally watercolor. There is that collage on it, but no acrylic. See the center? Now you can see it a little bit more in this piece because it's watercolor. So you have to have separate spray bottles and mark them so you know which ones have acrylic and which ones have watercolor, because that does make a difference. Then design. I play with design a lot. I just recently won an award for an abstract that I did. And I've just been playing around, and I kind of play. And these are pieces of scrap paper, which I end up picking up any kind of paper everywhere I go, because I think those things add. And then I added more white. And this is done with gouache, white gouache and black gouache. And also the white and black gouache is what I mixed together to get that background. See how nice that peeks through in different places, which that's just my personal taste, and that's up to you. But and then I repeated 1, 2, 3 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you know that odd numbers are always better for design than even, okay? I personally really like this one. I don't know if I have a frame.
How do you adhere the paper to the watercolor paper?
Oh, I use Nova Gel. I use Nova Gel products. They have a paste that I attach these with. Okay, and their stuff, Nova Color is really a good brand. And I have used it for a long time. In fact, I was trying to think, there was something that I bought at the fancy grocery store. They used to take a magazine out, and when you poured it on, it would distort it. And I will look that up for everybody and find out. I couldn't find it in my studio. I looked and looked to see if I could find it. In there, it's just your choice. I like that little peekaboo there. You know, this piece was torn with the hole in it. I like that too. It's just having fun. Be personal with your work, okay? keep spraying things, play around. If you don't like it, cover it up and start again. I think people worry too much, and life's too short to worry about all those things and have some fun and do it. And paper, I have a painting on the floor there. The roses on that are from music, old music sheets, okay? These, and I really, and that's a piece of music in there and in there, underneath here, right here. And then this is some of the collage material. And then I like to do this with the acrylic to spin it around and give you a strong thing. But I personally really like that. I started with black and kept adding things, as you see. And then I have one, I don't know if anybody went to the Van Gogh immersive show. I know Jim did. After I came home, I had to do a Van Gogh, okay? I was thrilled with that show. I stayed for 4 times to watch it, but I happen to like Impressionism very much. So this is kind of what I came home and did. So, you know, and that's a watercolor behind us, and there's another acrylic there. Now this one, I'm in love with this one for some reason. I don't know if I can get that to stay on there. Give me a piece of tape, please. Well, just tape it enough just so they can see it. Great. Just a piece right there. Thanks, Becky. This one, I really had fun doing, as you can see. Well, that's not sitting right. There we go. I'll hold it. You see, again, this is watercolor. That's wash, black and white mixed together to get the gray. I use Da Vinci gouache. I really happen to like that brand. You get stuck on brands. And I put a little bit of glitter because I like to play around with sparkle. And then there's white tissue. You see down in here, down in here. Again, I count those kind of spaces. Here I scrape through the paint when it's wet, so you get some more design elements going on. And this is from the dinner somewhere, from the bread baskets, okay? And I just won that one award at SWA. I have a photo of it here, and I used that in it. And being so many people on HGTV are doing black, gray, and white is what motivated me to do these. Now, this is strictly watercolor, except I've added collage. And that's up to you. I love, see this, it's kind of stringy. I like to make different things happen with my collage. I like to move it, mush it, scrape it. I want you to have fun when you're working, okay? I really like this one very much. I like the way the design looked in the mat, and that's why I brought the mat, so you guys could see how different something looks in a mat versus none. I came today, I would have done it in person. I was worried. My studio is a disaster, and I didn't want to mess Kai's studio up, because I pour things, I spray things. My friend who recently passed away, and a lot of you know her, Judy Puccini, when she got new carpeting in her bedroom, she gave me a piece for my studio. And about 2 months later, she came over and she said, Joyce, what have you done with this carpeting? But when you're an artist, I don't want you to worry about those things. I want you to have fun and to play. And you can do colors. I just happened to wanted to show you these 4 different ones. I wanted to show you the difference in acrylic and watercolor. Now this is going to cost me much more to frame, okay? The acrylics, the one is on a board. You won't have to frame that at all if you don't want. And the one that's not, I don't have to have Omar put glass on it. So I could just put a frame on it. So there's all these little things. I'm very partial to watercolor. I like the way watercolor moves. I like playing with it. I just enjoy watercolor. So I hope I can entice you guys to try something new and to play around. Guy is a great teacher. He teaches here in this studio we're in. And also I teach a class in at Avenidas, the senior center, and I love doing it. See the circles, I'd be free. I think people are so afraid to just play, you know, and to me, that's what abstracts are more about. You have to know design, you have to know color, but you really need to play around. And I hope that this will entice you guys to take something and to play with it and make yourself some abstracts. And I hope I taught you something today. And if not, if you have a question, you can always call me or send me an email and I will help you as much as I can. And I thank you today. And I hope this is fun.
Maybe we could talk about this piece.
Okay. I happen to like this because of the color, okay? I did the cruciform. I still have mixed emotions whether I should have left some of this blank here instead of bringing it down, but I love all this. And what is that? This is supposed to be going over the San Mateo Bridge. I used to drive it to work every day. This is the bridge, this is where you hit the land, and then that's the road going up. So I kind of used that in my head for the design, okay? And this was supposed to be coming back San Mateo, which I was gonna do it across and I didn't want to. I still think a blank spot here is better composition for me when I look at it. I don't
maybe
know.
a broken line there would add some interest. Yes.
Over here, something broken on this side. The colors, as you can see, I really took and mushed around different blues. I don't like always sticking with one color when I'm doing an acrylic, especially because you can mix them and look how beautiful you get these different colors. And that's another thing. You see, I always, on my acrylics, I usually do some kind of stuff underneath so it has some texture. I like metallics. I always play with metallics. Yeah, you know, I have this crazy thing in my head. I drove over the bridge for many, many years to Chrysler. I worked for Chrysler Corporation. And that's kind of where my concept came for this painting. And I still like it. I think I would add something or move this a little bit, but the colors and this is yum. Okay, I really, really enjoy that stuff. Okay.
So in terms of the color, were you thinking of the water?
Yes,
Color there?
yes, I was going over the bridge, and the water there changes colors depending on the weather, the sun, going over the San Mateo Bridge, and I watched it. I went across it when they were adding the new lanes. We had fun always. The people working would wave to us girls because they'd see us all the time. So no, I really, I was the driver. I drove a car with 6 girls and it never bothered me because I always looked at things. And I still look at this. I just love what I did here. This is some kind of piece of fabric I found. See it in here?
See if I could zoom in.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. There's fabric. If you drop something on the floor, I'm one of those people that's liable to pick it up and add it to my work. Okay, it's just fun. And I still love the color of this. I think the blues are exciting blues. You know, it's not a boring blue. It's really fun to look at.
And it varies
The blue.
Yeah, the very colors. The color is very different in different places. Okay. And that's again done. This is done with, I use Nova Gel, makes a gel where you can glue this on. And I've used it for years. Nova Color makes really some good products. I've used them for many different things over the years. And I like a little bit of looseness to splatter or whatever and drip. And I think when the Van Gogh thing, when I looked, I've always liked Impressionism. And today when I was getting the stuff ready to bring here, I never realized till I looked at some of my old paintings, how much I've always done that, but not enough. Okay, so I was always there. And as you get older, you say, what the heck, why not, right? And that's why I've been doing this. And I really like my paintings better today than I did yesterday. And that's me personally. And this one I would never sell because I just, certain ones you get attached to. I'm sure Guy and Jim, you guys feel the same way. There's some things it's okay if you sell them, and there's other things that you think, I'm never going to sell that. And I started out with oil paints. I painted only in oils in Michigan. And I studied with some really famous people in Michigan. And then when I came to California, I always wanted to play with watercolor. Okay. And to me, watercolor is just an exciting medium. And acrylic's very much like watercolor, depending what you're going to do with it and how you're going to use it. That's why I tried to do 2 of them in acrylic for you, in black and white, and 2 in watercolor. They're very similar. Watercolor is easier to clean up. Acrylic, if you get it on, my husband was worried I was going to wear my painting clothes. Yeah. And he said, don't do that. But I have, paint and glue on my, and I have shoes that I wear that are all with paint on them. I should have worn those because the nuns, I teach nuns at a monastery, I volunteer. And they thought I bought those special for my art class, so you know. So no, I wear painting clothes in my studio. And I don't care what happens to my floor, even though it drives my family crazy. That's what I do. And here's some geese behind here. And you see, this is a pretty old painting, but there's still some of my looseness in the geese. I see things probably that I would have changed now, but I love this. I love the shapes that this was in France. I did this in Dordogne. I went to a workshop. I probably Mike Bailey, maybe. Anyways, these geese were everywhere. The only thing I would change probably today is, this isn't my favorite, but I love this part. I just really like what I did in here. I probably used saran wrap in here, it looks like to me. See the shapes in there? I can almost tell you I did. Now here, I can't remember what I did. Look at this. This is like I had an underpainting and then I put other colors on top. And I think I made it put saran wrap to remove some of the colors, if I recall, but we did this one on location.
Wow.
And I really like them.
All the texture here and all the different colors. So this is watercolor?
Yeah, that's all watercolor.
Wow.
All watercolor. Yeah, and see here, I tried to pick up little pieces to show up. I wanted this duck's butt to show, and there was this goose, and the paper wasn't big enough, and I thought, that's okay, you can go off the page. So those are things that you learn not to worry about, okay? I still like it, and it's probably 20 years old. Some paintings I look at now in my house, and I think, why did I ever do that, So it's just one of those things. There's ones you like and ones you don't.
So Joyce,
Would you say there are 3 geese in that painting or 4 geese in that painting?
There's 4.
Which is an even number.
1, 2, 3, yeah, 4.
So you
But
yeah.
She's a rule breaker.
She is.
yeah, I'm a rule breaker, but these guys are important. His tail is just, yeah, that's interesting. But you see, wow, that's interesting. I have his feet. I don't have the feet of this one.
So only 3 pair of feet. Yeah.
3 pair of feet. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And this is only because I ran out, or I would have had the 4 geese for sure. But I like the tail of this one sticking out. And I like the colors, and why I use those colors, I have no idea, guys, because in France, those were not the colors I saw. So I must have just been playing around and doing them. So, no. I think these immersive shows, I personally, the Van Gogh, because I like Impressionism, I found it very exciting. Anything you can do to support the arts. We have Society of West Coast Artists. I've been there for many years, since 1976. And believe me, there's so many demos, there's so many things you get for free to become a member. I'm making notes now to send to the universities because we have a show at SWA right now. And there's some incredible pieces in there from college students. And I really think if you like art, please, please do something before it's too late. You wanna have a good time. You know, you don't worry about how old you are or how young you are, just paint and play. I make cards at night when I sit watching TV with my husband. I make it all out of recycled stuff. Kleenex recently is showing boxes of things made, and I've been using Kleenex boxes, so I sent them cards that I made out of the Kleenex box. I haven't heard from them yet. I'll let you know, but they're putting them on their Kleenex boxes now, so people know. A lot of people don't have a lot of money. If you go buy some of these papers I use, they're very expensive. I pay up to $10, $15 for certain papers. So now the little plaid ones are from a restaurant I go to. They have it in the basket. These little black and white ones, okay? Don't throw something away that you think you can use as part of, you know, in your picture. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. These are from a basket of biscuits or something, okay? So I know I drive all my friends crazy because if I see anything anywhere, I'm sure these pieces of paper I picked up somewhere, I saw them laying, and I thought, oh, that might look good. So, you know, the biggest thing for people, don't be afraid. You're doing this for yourself, you know, have some fun and enjoy life. My art, I printed some things that I will give Jim to take back to the gallery. My art has always been my lifesaver, really. I don't know how you two feel, but I think art gives you something special. You know, it's just a nice way to spend time. You're learning things, you're making things, you're having fun, you know, and you're meeting wonderful people. So it's a really good thing to do, guys.
Joyce, I like your story about Myrna and her picking up things to put in her painting.
Right.
Didn't she cross the road one day and she saw something?
Right. Oh, Myrna is my dear friend, Myrna Wacknow. She's an incredible artist. She specializes in portraits. Somebody ran over something in the middle of the street. I thought she was going to get killed. She went and got that piece and added it to her work. Yeah. You know, I've been lucky to know Myrna since I first moved here to California. And so we've had a lot of fun doing all kinds of things. And if you see her portraits, guys, I mean,
oh yeah,
her portraits are magnificent. She's been doing them since a young girl at the state fair. And we always had that real common denominator. So we still play around with different things. And no, Myrna, I'm lucky to Jim, Guy, these people are great artists. And, you know, it gives you something to look forward to. I think when people get old, they think that there's no reason to live and whatever. That's wrong. There's so many reasons to live and to play. And it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money either. You can get art supplies. Like lately, I've been giving stuff away at Avenidas. You see ads always on the computer. People are throwing stuff out because their mom died or whatever. Don't ever do that. Give it to somebody, you know, and look for things like that so you don't have to spend the money. And now the art stores, California Art's given a 12% discount to people. University Art gets a discount. I like Cheap Joe's because their prices for me are better, so I use them a lot. I've used them for years. They do little shows. Robert Burge is another person that I've always liked. I've done his workshops. He does a video all the time. There's always videos. You can look up people, the kind of work you like, and do those and come to classes. Guy's got classes here at his studio. And Jimmy comes every week I teach at Avenidas, the senior center. And it's more, I mean, it's camaraderie too, you know, it's having friends and just enjoying. I never have a bad day when I'm painting, guys.
Don't
Never.
need a therapist, right?
Yeah, it is. You don't need a therapist. That's true, Jim. You don't. Jimmy works really hard on his paintings, and I know Guy does too. And my whole life, my mom and dad didn't get along. My art was always my way of escaping. I've also taught at Ronald McDonald House, and it's been incredible. Is that, no? Okay, yeah. To help people get through tough times is really, art did it. You know, these families, there was a family that I'm still close to. I didn't even know the little boy didn't have an arm until he asked me to help him make his painting not move. And I've stayed close with that family. Their one son passed away while I was there. It makes you appreciate life more, for sure, when you see these little children. And then I work at a monastery with nuns, and they make me queen for the day, okay? They're gonna have an art show. I will leave a flyer. I'll give it to Jim to put at the gallery. It's just, they make me, you know, they want me to be the queen there. I mean, they do anything for me to teach because they can't afford to pay for anything. So it's always been a joy for me. How can you not like when everybody thinks you're a queen, right? And they do, they really do.
Yeah.
And Ronald McDonald's, I was there for 20 years. As I got older and my nieces and nephews couldn't work anymore, if you want to volunteer there, you really need help, because and I invited the parents too, because I think parents need that as much as the children do. But you really, the kids, my cousin came, and he's my age or older, and he spilled acrylic paint all over the floor. And then he was walking through it. So I looked and I thought, here's an adult, and the kids actually are sometimes better than the adults with all the art supplies. But Ronald McDonald House is a magnificent place. And all these art clubs we're so lucky. SWA. CWA, Society of West Coast Artists, where all of us belong. Santa Clara Valley. We're in California, guys. We're really very fortunate to be here, way above everyone else. And I'm very partial, I know, but I know that for a fact. I was born and raised in Michigan, and I was lucky to study there, but It's okay. And these guys have been wonderful today. And I hope if anybody has any questions or I can help you, just send me an email or call me. I still have an old phone. I don't text. I'm one of those people, but I do have an email and I'd be more than glad to help you anytime. And I'm sure Guy and Jim would too. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Joyce.
Okay.
Really enjoyed all your advice and your enthusiasm for painting. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I did okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, look, he uses the only brushes that I love. Look at this. I love these. I think they're the best brushes. Do the new ones, are they make the small too?